Hello and welcome to the 90-Day Website Mastery Podcast. It's the 36th episode. We're excited to bring you even more valuable insights and practical advice to help you enhance your website's performance. We want you to feel proud of your website. When someone says, "What's your website address?" we don't want you to have that pang in your stomach. We want you to shout it loud and proud and really be proud of your website. We're live on LinkedIn, we are live on Facebook, we're live on Instagram, and we're live on YouTube. So please do let us know if you're there. Perhaps you're joining us on the replay on the podcast, and it's brilliant that you're here as a listener. We really value it, and we love the feedback that we get. Keep giving us feedback and let us know what else you want us to talk about. In each episode, as always, we have 4 segments. We have the You Ask, We Answer. We have website stories. We also then move on to the website engine room, where we share an app or a piece of tech or a kit that me or Pascal have seen that is going to help you as a website manager or a website content creator have an easier life. And then, of course, we always finish with the website call to action, where we give you one small change or adjustment that you could be making to your website right now. That is going to help you feel proud of your website. Pascal, you're with me, my co-host. How are you?
I'm very well. And you were just mentioning about, please keep those comments coming and those questions, because actually today, the entire episode is inspired by interaction you and I've had through masterclasses. And you were hosting a conference last week in Durham. We got a chance to see each other as well, which was absolutely lovely. But actually, for the first time, every single segment is inspired directly by a conversation or a query from one of our clients.
Absolutely. Let's start with our first segment, You Ask, We Answer.
Now, you're going to love this, Jonny, because this question was asked in so many ways twice this week. I'm trying to get my colleagues to help me more with content ideas and to contribute to our blog. It's not easy. Any suggestions or practical advice? How many times have you heard these questions and this kind of comment?
Yeah, I mean, trying to get content is sometimes like getting blood out of a stone, is it not? What you tend to find in most organizations is there's very few people that are waiting and like the idea of getting involved and giving content. But you do have the odd few gems. And the best way I've found to try and get content out of people is actually, depending on the number of staff you've got, of course, because I was about to go down having some one-to-one sessions with your staff. But of course, if you've got lots and lots of staff, then you just need to think about how you can work that cleverly. But depending on the number of staff you've got, and if I just think of an organization I was doing it with only last week, they've got about 30 or 40 staff. And I've done one-to-one sessions with every single one of them, talking about what their passions are, what they're interested in outside of work, what their hobbies, what they, are they members of any associations, any business associations, any charity work, and really tried to understand them as a person, and then tried to sort of marry that with, okay, well, what's perhaps some sort of internal goals on how you can business develop into the business. How can you help the business grow, which in turn is going to help you personally grow as well? And actually, is there a bit of value in some personal branding here as well? So, perhaps let's have a look at your LinkedIn. What's it saying? And from all of that conversation, and I've sort of fast forwarded it a bit here, but from all of that conversation, you tend to find that some fantastic content comes out. And then it's about making it really easy. So it might be about, then I might interview them to tease some stuff out and then take it away to write it for them. Or it might be that I come up with questions to ask them to get them thinking. So yeah, I've gone off on a bit of a tangent there, but that's just one method that I use, which works really well.
I like it. And oddly nowadays as well, it's so much easier because you could record it. You could just put it in one of the audio transcriber on your laptop whilst you're having a conversation, have a lot of those ideas. But what you're creating is almost like access to freelance journalists and people that are keeping an eye out for what's happening in the industry. And I've kind of, like you, changed slightly. So I used to have content ideas meeting. In fact, in the previous episode, we suggested an agenda for a kind of formal sit-down content ideas meeting. But your point is, for the vast majority of your colleagues, this is not their day-to-day. The marketing communication is not what they would do as much as you would. And I take your point about sometime it's just someone that's got appointed by the organization. You're good at communication, you do it now, and then they like the support. So what I tend to do then is look at organizing a meeting to look at the wins. And so you're back to this idea of, in your particular area of expertise or in a particular function in the business, this month, what have been the wins? And what I tend to do is split between operational wins, commercial wins, technological wins, and to your point, personal wins. And what you tend to do there is get people to reflect on the month that was. And add to that, as you well know, Jonny, and all of you, the gems are coming out because they don't necessarily make the link between something that to them is just normal, not particularly worthy of being mentioned, but you with your content marketing head on, and particularly customer relationship marketing head on, you kind of realize that would be a good story. That's a good anecdote or something we can develop further. So I've done a trial for the last few months now with some of my mentees, and that's working really well. Also, oddly, it doubles then as a report back to the boss, saying, well, across the different functions of operations, management, as well as marketing, this is what's been happening. And that also has meant that people have had some much better company updates on their website as well.
Yeah. And the other thing that I've used is templates. So providing some kind of content template that can be used for simple blog posts or simple audio sessions, where you're just sort of prompting some key things. What three? So for example, here's the topic, here's the theme, and one of the first prompts is, what three things would our target audience be interested in? How would it help them? What difference could we make? What 3 pain points might our target audience have around this particular theme or topic? And so things like that can then lead into content generation as well. So there's loads of ways, but don't stop at the typical answer, which is, I don't have any ideas, and I'm too busy, and you just need to gamify it, make it more fun, bring out their passion, and make it feel like there's something, be authentic in terms of actually there's something in it for them as well.
Yeah, I think that's important because they have to see the correlation, that cause and effect. And for me, importantly, because I've heard back as well, feedback, people saying, well, I gave the ideas, or I took part in a meeting, or I took part in a one-to-one, but then I never heard a thing after that. So be careful, do make sure you send copies, do show them, for example, reactions on social media, do tell them that their anecdote was used at a conference by the MD, kind of give them, make sure that they understand their contribution as traveled and has had an impact on the business.
For sure. I am very, very, very excited about our next segment, especially on this episode. Let's find out why. It's website stories.
Now, typically for website stories, you and I would be researching an article, a podcast, a video, an infographic produced by somebody else and use it for a bit of a deep dive conversation on what it means to be a website manager in today's economy. But we're going to do something very more. We're going to actually be talking about something that you and I have authored and produced. I'm very, very chuffed and very, very pleased to announce to all of you that Jonny and I have co-authored a book.
We have. We certainly have, and it's very exciting. And for those that are watching and on the video version, I'm just holding it up to the screen right now. If you're on audio, you'll be able to click the link in the show notes. Don't you worry, and you'll be able to see what it looks like. But how exciting! We actually have it published. It's live, and it's very exciting.
And what is interesting for all of you, let's do a bit of an origins, story, a bit like a Marvel universe. But the idea started many months ago now. I must confess, memory is failing me. Where I thought, well, maybe we could do an ebook out of all the work that we do with regard to the webinars that started all of this, the program, our kind of day-to-day with masterclasses, conferences, and so on. So we wanted to do like an ebook that would be a free download. But then eventually it became quite a sizable ebook and with everything that we wanted to fit in, because we wanted this to become the ultimate resource that would really answer all of your questions, but also give you lots of practical advice. And in a moment, Jonny is going to give you a breakdown of the content of the book called Web Proud. And so off we went, and we went from ebook to book. And there was quite a learning curve. I mean, I always had a lot of respect for my fellow consultants and advisors out there that have gone ahead with writing books. And that kind of respect has been renewed tenfold, because it was quite a journey, but delighted with the result.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 2 years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
We've spent a lot of time, and it was just that realization that we have a lot of tactics and strategies that work to producing a website that people can feel proud of. And, how can we not document this? How can we not, even just for our own sanity, and put it all together? So we've the strapline is the 5-step roadmap to feeling proud of your website. Again, it's called Web Proud. There's a 5-step roadmap in there. Step 1 is all about the website health check. Step 2 is about building trust on your website. We have step 3, which is attracting the right website visitors. Step 4 is converting visitors into inquiries. And then step 5 is becoming proud of your website. And then we've got some bonus materials as well, have we not, Pascal? And a lot of that's from all of the podcasts that we've been doing. This is the 36th episode. And we have 4 segments in each episode where we give tons of value and tons of tips away. And we've taken all of those and consolidated them into some really, hopefully, you tell us, insightful, good value that's going to help you feel proud of your website.
And the driving kind of remit that we gave ourselves, brief that we gave ourselves, was to be super practical and really with a view of you taking action. So the 5 steps are captured into 5 executive briefings, but each briefing has 2 checklists, one from Jonny, one from me, has 2 action plans, one from Jonny, one from myself. You also have, which I think is lovely, the concept of this being like a field note book. You have a dot journaling section, which I'm going to show quickly on screen, this idea of doodling and putting kind of boxes and arrows and whatever. You have also a 10-day, 30-day, 90-day action plan template. And you also have, which I think is important, a tools and AI solutions kind of ideas capture. So, what you're going to do, what tools are going to be, it's going to help you achieve those, and what AI solutions should you be testing right now, times 5. And that's for the 4 action. And as you mentioned, we also included the bonus section for inspiration, for imagination. You've got 4 different bonuses, but if I may say so, the one that I'm particularly proud of is a year's worth of websites amends and websites actions taken from our now, world famous website call to action. But literally we've captured the top 52 actions that you should be undertaking in your website, and you can go through the list one by one, or you can open this particular bonus section randomly and go, this week we're going to work on that. And I think really from the point of view of as a reader, we've had obviously people checking it. We've had some beta testers, you could argue, and they said, they love the tone. They said they could imagine and they could hear your voice and my voice whilst we're reading the book, which was actually a lovely compliment, they say, but they absolutely loved the checklist and the action plans. Super, super useful.
Yeah, and we've enjoyed putting it together. And we just, the idea, like on this podcast, is for you to feel proud of your website. And by following this simple guide, as we've said, really practical, lots of actions, we're sort of there with you throughout the journey to ultimately creating that really that website that you can feel web proud. That's as simple as that. So what a great website story this episode, Pascal.
Indeed.
We'll obviously put a link to the book. It's on Amazon. We'll put the link on the show notes. We'd welcome feedback. We'd love feedback, in fact. And if you do happen to buy it, please do leave us a review, because ultimately, this isn't about I don't think we think we're gonna be millionaires from releasing a book, Pascal. But at the same time, we do want it to reach people. We want it to reach the right people, and we want it to ultimately create better websites online. That's
For sure.
It benefits all of us if websites are easier to use, are easier to navigate, that work on mobile, that convert. And how can that be a bad thing? So, help us get it out there and reach the right people. On that note, let's move to our next segment, the website engine room.
Now, in this part of the show, we select and shortlist and recommend 2 apps or software solutions that can make life easier as a website manager and content creator. And some of them actually made it into the Web Proud book that we just announced a moment ago. But Jonny, what is your selection for episode 36?
So I've been talking a lot about cold email recently, and one of the things about cold email is that for you, it's a numbers game, and so for you to be able to send mass emails out in a one at a time, what you need to do is the only way to send so many out at the same time is to have multiple email addresses. There's no way around it, because otherwise you have a huge issue with spam filters and trust signals. And so what we do is we warm up email addresses to have multiple email addresses. Now, there's a cost of setting those email addresses up, and there's a cost and time wise. There's a lot of technical aspects from setting DNS up or working with the likes of Microsoft or the likes of Google. It's not the biggest, most difficult thing in the world, but when you add the time up and the cost, there is now a company out there that does it for you. So it's Mailscale.ai. It automates email account creation much faster, much cheaper, and within minutes you could be creating 50 to even 1,000 email accounts within just a few minutes on several domains. So they do the whole thing for you. They manage the whole thing, and it's set up within minutes, and it's a lot cheaper, and it just makes the whole barrier of one of the barriers of cold email campaigns just so much easier. So that's Mailscale.ai is my recommendation for this episode.
Yes, and you mentioning on that, that's why you've been talking a lot at the conference that I was able to join. And the conversation that inspired today's selection for me was with customers where we're busy working on their campaigns, we're busy working on their customer journey. As you know, I've got this little kind of model called the visibility, credibility, and interactivity kind of workflow, where you kind of chunk your work into 3 key areas of customer experience. But people saying, I can't quite imagine it because we've not done visibility to the degree that you're describing. So I remembered a way to visualize that customer journey from they don't know you exist all the way to they become a loyal and very fervent champion. Is called Pretty Funnels. So this idea of a sales funnel, but what is lovely about the interface is to drag and drop with different kind of icons, different way to symbolize, the different stages and steps and interaction, which could include indeed receiving an email. And Pretty Funnels is a lovely way to visualize what you think your customer journey is all about, but also spot maybe gaps or spot ways in which you can get more value from that interaction. And what I liked about it because it's visual, everybody can understand it, and it's probably more engaging than bullet points or an attempted mind map or an attempt at using PowerPoint with boxes and arrows that try to connect different things. So if you want to find a way to visualize your customer journey as you're building your campaign, you want to share it in a way that is meaningful to others, I highly recommend Pretty Funnels.
Yeah, I've done a lot of journey mapping and customer journey mapping. That was the phrase I was looking for. And what is apparent very quickly when you map a journey out is the optimizations you can make, and how one little change in one little step of the journey can have such a big impact. So brilliant. Now a tool that we can use that helps us map that out a bit more, but also makes us think about the content as we're at each touch point. Highly recommend mapping a journey out, however big or small your organization is, really understanding it from the customer's point of view, where you take them. And so many times what you tend to find is that they come through your funnel, they perhaps say no to a quote, and what you put them right in at the front of the funnel again, and speak to them as if they've never ever spoken to you before, and sort of take them on exactly the same journey again. Well, that is there straight away in optimization, and gets you thinking. So yeah, brilliant. What was that? That was prettyfunnels.com. Excellent. We shall
indeed, yeah.
We shall put that in the show notes, as we do with all of these. So let's move on to our final segment, because of course every piece of content, including our podcast, has a call to action. This is the website call to action.
Now, this is about the one change or one adjustment that's going to make a big difference to your website and for you to feel proud of your website again. Jonny, what is your call to action?
Go and buy the book. Oh, okay. I'm only joking. If you want to feel proud of your website, go and buy Web Proud. No, my website call to action for this episode is lazy loading for faster pages. So depending on the content management system that you have, or depending on the how your website's been built, there is sometimes it's a click of a button. Sometimes you need to get a developer to write some code. But it's the idea that images or elements on the page do not load until the user, for example, interacts or the user scrolls to that part of the website. So it increases the speed of your website, because instead of having to load everything at once, the website only loads elements as the user gets there or as the user starts interacting. So it improves user experience and absolutely improves search engine optimization as well, because that's one of the big metrics that Google is looking at is page speed, and that can have an influence on your ranking factor as well. So lazy loading for faster pages would be my website call to action.
This is incredible, because that's the conversation I had only 2 days ago with a client about the way in which actually even Google and Search Console are making suggestions about things like this to kind of take the pressure off. So mine is actually, again, inspired by a conversation I've had with customers, where one of the other reason people are not feeling proud of their website is that they feel a little embarrassed about the fact that they have a website to-do list and they're just not making enough progress with it. So every time we have a meeting, every time they discuss things with their colleagues, it's that kind of dark cloud looming of all the things that I know I should be doing but I haven't done. So my recommendation is actually to go back to that to-do list and only select the actions that are going to make the biggest difference this time of year. And you could almost say that the rest on the list, give it to someone like Pascal or Jonny, and we'll be the custodian of that to-do list. But you should, as a business owner, as a marketer, pick the handful that are going to really, really make a biggest difference to your business. And then you're going to relax. Then you're going to feel proud of your website, and you can tackle the rest. For inspiration, in terms of website call to action, if maybe your to-do list is very light, and well done you, couple of things you could do. You could access our website and go onto the action randomizer, where we've captured the top 25 kind of calls to action for the previous series, and you can do one action at a time. Or, as Jonny mentioned in jest, but actually sincerely, do get a copy of Web Proud, because as I mentioned a moment ago, we have a year's worth of calls to action for you to kind of make those adjustments. Very small one, very practical one, that's going to make a big difference to you, to your customer experience, and as a result of which you can breathe a sigh of relief and feel, do you know what? I don't mind sharing my URL, my website address anymore.
So in episode 36, we have helped you hopefully get your team engaged in content. That's around some of the things, some of the strategies, some of the tactics that you can do with your team to try and get them more engaged, whether that be templates, whether it be understanding their passions, whether it be just talking to them and asking them, what do they think that they could add in terms of value, in terms of content, or pain points of their target audience, of their customers. And perhaps it is sometimes sharing some ideas first of all, just to get that conversation going. But there's what we are saying here is that there are easy ways to get help from the team in terms of producing content, and it's just about really engaging them and making them understand the value that they get out of it. That's the important bit. It's about them understanding the value that they get out of this as well. We talked about website stories, which was the most exciting one for this series, really. The book, Web Proud, it's launched. We've spent a lot of time on it. It's the 5-step roadmap to feeling proud of your website. Again, it's out now on Amazon, and you please do pop along and have a look. The link will be in the show notes. We've given you some tools that you should be looking at. Mailscale.ai to help with your email account generation if you're looking at doing cold email. Brilliant app for making things a lot faster and a lot cheaper for setting up email accounts. Pretty Funnels was Pascal's. Prettyfunnels.com, an elegant way to visualize and plan and optimize your digital funnels and any customer journeys, which, you know, we recommend you do and find those optimizations. And then for the website call to action, we finished on lazy loading for faster pages. And review your to-do list. Review your website to-do list, and, you know, give yourself a few small victories to end the year, and focus on some of the sort of bite-sized things that you could start implementing right away. Another great episode, Pascal. Thank you very much indeed, and it's been a pleasure as always.
No, thank you very much. And listen, you know, as you mentioned when we started, and actually at the very core of to this episode, it's all your questions, it's all your reactions, all your comments, all your doubts and concerns. There's a great source of inspiration for us. And I find it very helpful, and really thinking, I'm approaching now 30 years in a world of digital, and probably 30 years of thinking through a website experience that's going to make a difference to you, your colleagues, and your clients. And it's just an absolute delight to have the different platforms, from the podcast to the webinars to the masterclasses to the book, to share that knowledge.
For absolute sure. Listen, that is a wrap for episode 36 of the website of the 90-Day Website Mastery Podcast, your audio companion to the 90-Day Website Mastery Program. For more information, visit 90daymarketingmastery.com, where you can book a discovery call with either myself or Pascal. It's goodbye for now. Enjoy the video and audio montage whilst you review your notes and action steps, and we will see you soon and look forward to your feedback. And please do like, share, and leave a review. We'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.